There's nothing worse than when a criminal is released from prison, even though that the people know that the person in question committed the crime that they were committed are convicted of. This happened to a family that lived in Mississippi. Their loved one was kidnapped one morning to have never been seen from again. The players in this case have all either passed away or are still in hiding, and I do not think it's ever going to be solved. Today, I am going to be discussing the case of Annie Hearin on this next installment of Black Site Files from Unsolved Mysteries, the case of Annie Hearin.
There are an awful lot of savings and loans in California, and sometimes they all sound like they're saying the same thing.
Well, if that's true, why do more people save at home savings than any other savings and loan? Why are we America's largest? I think people feel secure at home savings. They know that in the 87 years we've been in business, no one has ever lost a penny at home. Old, dependable home savings. Now over $6 billion strong.
This is actually one of the cases that I constantly find myself thinking about because of the fact that the person who was apprehended and then released after serving I think he served something like 16 years of a 19-year sentence. Even though he was released, we could all tell that the person in question was actually the person who committed the crime of kidnapping. However, apparently they did not have enough evidence, even though there was a lot of evidence, including the fact that the person in question bought the van that was seen roaming the neighborhood just prior to Annie's kidnapping. But we're going to be finding out a lot more about that. If you are new to this series, this is basically where I go and have my secretary. Her name is Jasmine. Say hello to Jasmine, everybody. She will read to us the case from the Unsolved Mysteries wiki, and I'll give you my thoughts about it. Now, as always, the program that I use to read this website, it is not the most capable of programs. Even though it is a Microsoft program, they never seem to get the thing fixed. So do not be shocked if I will be having to constantly kind of fix the program and everything as it reads. Anyway, so let's do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. I will start with the bio information, basically. Annie Hearin, her real name is Annie Laurie Hearin. Nickname is Annie Hearin. Alternate spelling. The location was Jackson, Mississippi, and then the date was July the 26th, 1988. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to just do little chunks. Hopefully the program will not mess up. So let's get going, shall we?
Details. 72-year-old Annie Laurie Hearin was the wife
Yeah, here it goes. It's right. It's starting right off the bat.
of wealthy businessman Robert Hearin Sr. They had been married for 48 years. She was abducted on the afternoon of July 26, 1988. Earlier that day, she had several friends over. Robert came home in the afternoon to find her not home. After calling several friends and family, he called the police to report her missing. Investigators discovered drops of blood on the carpet and blood smears on the front door of the Hearin home. Neighbors also reported seeing a suspicious pickup truck and a white van with Florida license plates driving by it.
Okay, so basically what we have here was a kidnapping. The fact that they found blood really kind of makes me kind of concerned for Annie's safety. I honestly think that she was either severely injured during the kidnapping, and that's why she was bleeding, or she was already dead when the incident ended, and they somehow managed to forge her writing, I guess you could say, because they found a ransom note and everything, and then I think that a letter was mailed or whatever I can't. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit confused. We'll find out more. But I don't think she survived shortly after that letter was written. They said that it was in Annie's handwriting, if I remember correctly. But we'll find out. Let's continue on. Come on.
Analysts determined that the blood matched Annie's type. Authorities believe that she may have been struck on the head by an intruder, as indicated by blood smears on the door. A ransom note was also found near the door, which was typewritten and contained numerous grammatical and spelling errors. It stated, in part,
Okay, it stated that, here, let's just actually continue on. Basically,
Mr. Robert Hearin put these people back in the shape they was in before they got mixed up,
come on.
with school pictures. Pay them whatever damages they want and tell them all this so then can know what you are doing, but don't tell them why you are doing it. Do this before 10 days pass. Don't call police. Map of 8 states with companies named in ransom note.
Okay, hold on. There it goes. So basically, it is your typical kidnapping. The letter was left behind. There was blood. It was not a pretty picture. I could only feel bad for Robert, because his wife, she didn't deserve what happened to her. Basically, and if you're curious, School Pictures, which was named right here, School Pictures is basically what it says it is. It's a business that Robert owned, and that he franchised out the business to various other people who lived in numerous states, basically. Apparently they were, well, I don't want to say apparently, they were being sued. I'm not sure they were being sued by Robert himself or somebody on his behalf. I don't know the whole story about that, but some of these franchise owners were being sued, I'm guessing because they were not holding up their end of the partnership or whatever. I'm not sure exactly. Okay, let's go down here.
The note referred to School Pictures, a company that handled photographs of school children for yearbooks, which had been taken over by Robert in the 1980s. In order to collect debts, between 1981 and 1983, it sued 12 franchise owners in 8 states, including Florida. The letter listed these 12 franchises of the nationwide business, all of whom Robert was supposed to pay ransom for Annie's return. The kidnapper claimed that Robert owed these businesses money because he allegedly harmed them through his business dealings and lawsuits. Since the lawsuits against them were in public records, authorities determined that the kidnapper could have been someone that did not belong to these franchises.
Okay, and it'll turn out via later on, as you learn, that the person who wrote this letter is actually a franchise owner, I think in Florida. And I think the reason that he named himself in the letter was to try to throw off the various police agencies that were trying to solve this case. Pretty stupid if you ask me, but criminals are not the smartest of people. That's always been my belief, is that criminals are not the smartest of people. That they're a gullible bunch, and they're pretty easy to frighten.
Robert made a public appeal for Annie's return in September 1988 and received a letter 8 days later that was determined to feature her signature. Postmarked from Atlanta, Georgia, the note stated, "Bob, if you don't do what these people want you to do, they're going to seal me up in the cellar of this house with only a few jugs of water. Please save me." Annie Laurie Robert mailed nearly $1 million in ransom money to the 12 franchisees listed in the first note. However, Annie was never released, and the kidnapper never contacted him, AG.
Never contacted him again. I think that they had her sign that letter before they removed her from their home. I honestly don't think that she survived that long during the initial kidnapping. I think that they killed her, thus the blood, and that they were basically, they were never going to return her. They just wanted the money, basically. The question is why, that I cannot understand, is why would, the kidnappers want all these other businesses, or all these other franchise owners to pay up, or to be paid, because they wouldn't be able to actually get the money from those franchise owners, that I'm assuming. I don't think that it was, I do not think that it was a huge group of people that was involved in this kidnapping. I think it was just a couple people at the most. So it's kind of weird that they're like, oh, pay all these other guys. You normally kidnappers want the money given to them. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, here, I'll read this part right here. Suspects. Authorities suspect that one of the people from the 12 franchises listed in the note may have been involved in Annie's abduction, which they were correct. Suspicious white van with Florida license plates was seen in the neighborhood around the time of Annie's abduction. Now, that alone would not really be that suspicious. Vehicles come from all over the place. Hell, I live in Washington, and I've literally seen vehicles from all 50 states. I've seen them, from Alaska all the way to Florida, from New York to California, and everywhere between. So that is nothing to really be that suspicious. But we will find out some more stuff in the results portion. But let's continue on, shall we? Extra notes. The case first aired on the November 9th, 1988 episode. So, wow, I just turned 7 at that time, roughly. Just a few days after. But anyway. It was also documented on the Cold Case and FBI Files. Okay, we're going to go back and have Jasmine read this. Come on.
Annie Hearin on Unsolved.com.
Okay, hold on. It may be acting up. Let me try it one more time. Let's try a smaller. Let's try a smaller batch. Let's go down to here. See if it'll work that way. Sometimes I can never figure out what causes this program to act up. I'm not sure if it's the amount of words selected, if it's the website itself. I just don't understand.
Results.
Okay,
Unresolved. In March 1989, 65-year-old Newton Alfred Winn, a civil attorney in St. Petersburg, Florida, was arrested and charged with Annie's abduction. He was the owner of a Florida-based school pictures franchise and was one of the 12 names listed on the ransom note, and among the ones that sent their money back to Robert.
Okay, so as we have just learned here, Newton Alfred Winn was one of the franchise owners, and they figured out he was the one that basically, let's see here. Apparently, he was part of this, the abduction, at least, possibly, whatever, Okay, let's see here.
About 4 years before Annie's abduction, he had been sued by the company for over $153,000.
Wow,
A
$153,000.
month before Annie's abduction, Winn had purchased a van that matched the description of the one her neighbors saw around her house the day she was kidnapped. The descriptions of the driver also matched his appearance. 2 witnesses had also identified Winn as a man they had seen in a van in front of the Hearin home in the weeks prior to Annie's abduction. Authorities also learned that he had asked his paralegal to help him fabricate an alibi for the day of Annie's abduction.
Okay, so and this is what I was talking about. Not only do we have a franchise owner that they suspected was involved in the kidnapping, he asked his paralegal to help fabricate an alibi during the day of the abduction, but we also find out that he bought a white van, with Florida plates, and that people saw him literally driving around and that he was parked in front of the house. So it's really looking pretty bad for this person. And he has motive to do it because he was sued for $153,000. And this is what upsets me, is because of the fact that there is so much evidence here that shows that he was responsible. As you'll find out pretty quickly, he only serves time for other crimes and not the actual kidnapping itself. Okay, so let's continue on.
A woman contacted the FBI and told them that Winn had promised her $500 to travel from Florida to Atlanta, Georgia, and mail a letter for him. This occurred 16 days after Annie's abduction. He handed her a manila envelope. Inside was the second letter, wrapped in a gray linen napkin. He instructed her not to look at or touch it, but when she deposited it, she had to ease the napkin off. That is when she observed the writing on it. Later, she identified it as the one that Robert had received from Annie. Though he maintained his innocence throughout, Winn was convicted of conspiracy to commit kidnapping, extortion, and perjury in 1990. He was sentenced to 19 years and 7 months and was released from prison in April 2006. He died in August 2012. No one has ever been formally charged with Annie's actual abduction, nor has she ever been found. In 1990, Robert died of a heart attack, and a year later, Annie was declared legally dead. Links. Annie Hearin on Unsolved.
Okay, there it goes. Okay. This is what actually really upset me. It's the fact that basically we have all this evidence here. He lied. He committed perjury. He asked a paralegal to help fabricate an alibi. He bought the vehicle. He was seen in the area in the vehicle. He paid a person $500 to mail this letter. I don't understand how they could only get him with, let's see here, get him with conspiracy to commit kidnapping, extortion, and perjury. The woman is fucking missing. I wouldn't say that it's a conspiracy at that point. When I hear conspiracy in legal terms, now granted, I am not a lawyer, I'm not a professional at all, but when I hear conspiracy, I always think of conspiracy as something that's in the planning phase, like how terrorists plan out like a massive attack. Conspiracy to commit terrorism. That's how I view it. I view conspiracy as something that is in the planning stage that actually hasn't been carried out yet. Annie is fucking missing. How the hell is it that we are still only in the conspiracy, to commit kidnapping when the woman still is missing ever since 88? Or even before that. When did she go missing? Or was it 86? No, 88. Okay. It's just mind-boggling that a guy with this much evidence against him, and all they can get him is conspiracy, extortion, and perjury. Sadly, as we learned here, Robert died in 1990. Newton died August 12th. He was released in April 2006. He died August 2012, so I'm not really missing him because to me he's a criminal, you know. But that is about it for this portion of the video. I want to say thank you to Jasmine for assisting us. We will see her in the next installment of Black Site Files from Unsolved Mysteries. But let's continue on. We're going to be going to the Annie Hearin Find a Grave website and see how it goes. Okay, so Annie Laurie Swaim Hearin. She was born November the 2nd, only 2 days before me. But not I wasn't born in 1915 though. Hold on, let me fix this. Get this goddamn advertisement out there. November 2nd, 1915 in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama, USA. Her date of death was July the 26th, 1988. She was 72 years of age. The location was Jackson in Hinds County, Mississippi, USA. And basically, if she was alive, if she was still alive, she would be 109 years old at this point. Really kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it? She was her monument, because her body was never found. Her monument is at Lakewood Memorial Park in Jackson, Hinds County, Mississippi. Let's take a look here. So she has her family members listed. Her parents were Samuel Gardner Swaim, date of birth 1880. Oh my gosh. Her father was born 101 years before I was. Wow, holy shit. His date of death was, year of death was 1970. Her mother was Nettie Vivian Townsend Swaim, 1883 to 1956. She has several siblings. Ruth Gardner Swaim Flowers from 1907 to 1979. Alice Vivian Swaim Kroom from 1910 to 1996. Moses Mortimer Swaim from 1912 to 1994. And then she had her spouse, Robert Matlock. I love that name, Matlock. Hearin Sr. from 1916 to 1990. It's kind of sad because both her parents and then all of her siblings are all gone. So basically, with the exception of her son, she had a son named Robert Hearin Jr., I think. The rest of her family is all dead, which is sad. Okay, let's take a look at some of these photos that we have here. Okay, so let's go down here. We have the monument from 1915 to 1988 in loving memory. Here's a photo of their wedding. Here's a photo that was from the episode itself. And then we actually have a news clipping, which I'll read here. We have kidnap reward. The millionaire husband of Jackson, Mississippi woman kidnapped 68 weeks ago offered a $100,000 reward for her safe return or conviction of the kidnappers. Annie Laurie Hearin, 72, was taken July the 26th from her Jacksonville home. Robert Hearin paid a total of $1 million to 12 former business associates the kidnappers said he had wronged. Hearin said the family was not... Hearin said the family has not heard from his wife since receiving a handwritten note August 10th. It promised she would return if he paid up. At this point, I don't think that, honestly, they're ever going to return her, because the fact is, if they returned her, she could identify them. So I don't think that they ever intended on returning this poor lady to her family. I still believe that she was dead by the time that they got her out of the house, basically. But that's just my thought. what do you guys think in the comment section? Let me know. Do you think that Annie was killed during the kidnapping, or do you think they actually killed her after this last letter was signed by her? Even though I think that the last letter could have been signed by her in the house before the kidnapping. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to play a commercial, after these commercials. Sorry, after these commercials. Let's see here. Hold on. Do this. After these commercials, I'll be back with my final thoughts.
KEYT, Santa Barbara.
Okay, everybody, it's time for my final thoughts, and honestly, I hope that this case gets solved one of these days. It's upsetting because of the fact that we know that this guy, Newton Alfred, whatever his fucking name was, I'll be honest, I care less what his name is. I prefer to refer to him as a criminal. Anyway, Newton, I think his name was. Anyway, he got off basically with kidnapping, at the least kidnapping, at the worst murder, due to the blood that was in the house, basically. There's a few times that I've seen a case and where either a person who was released from prison, like this case for example, I can look at that person and go, yeah, that motherfucker committed the crime. Or there's actually cases where at the time of the case, people who were interviewed, were not charged, but you as a viewer could tell, yeah, those people were fucking guilty. And that comes to mind when it comes to the case of Wendy Cap, Cynthia Brito, and Lisa Krieger. These three ladies were killed, and then the family of the ex-husband of Wendy Camp, basically that her ex-husband's family were like, oh no, we didn't do it, but you could tell that they were responsible for doing it. So this is one of those cases that you can look at the criminal, even though they got out of prison, and you can say out loud or think to yourself or however, yeah, that motherfucker did it. It's kind of sad. It's a miscarriage of justice when they have all this evidence and all they can get the guy is conspiracy. Like I said before in this video, I'm not a legal expert, but to me conspiracy is it sounds like that's the planning phase of a crime where you're literally planning out everything, But that's just me, I think that it was miscarriage of justice. The Hearin family, or Hearin, or however you want to pronounce their family name, they were the ultimate victims. They lost a loved one. Robert, he died never knowing what happened to his wife. The mother, Annie was never returned. And then to top it off, in 2006, the person who most likely killed Annie or kidnapped and killed her, he was let go from prison. That would fucking piss me the fuck off, but that's just me. Yeah. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you to everybody who has watched, who has watched this video. As always, wait, hold on, is it not? Oh yeah, hold on. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody. We have actually finished up season 1, episode 7. So everything you've watched over the last couple, minus the video episodes of Black Site, the standard format, those were episode 7 of season 1, and we have finished up episode 7. So we're going to be going on to episode 8. See what is next in episode 8. Here, let me see here. Do I have what? Okay, hold on. Let me switch over. Give me 1 second, please. Let's see here. I think it's this one. Yep, there you go. So we have. Save. Hold on. I'm still getting stuff set up. Sorry about this. Let's do. Oh, I don't have that. Okay, so let's remove the background. There you go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't plan on doing this. This is like last minute. So we are done with season 1, episode 7. So episode 8. Ooh, it's going to start off with a case that I really love. The case of the Christy Nichols. If there's one thing that you should know about me is Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Oh no, I'm thinking of no. I thought there was a ship, like a boat. Unsolved Mysteries. Whereas there's Casey Nicole. Maybe I'm thinking Casey Nicole, but I thought this was that. Okay, so I cannot recall this one then. So we will find out more about this. But so season 1, episode 8. This has a total of looks like it could have a total of possibly 5 episodes that I'll be or 5 cases that I'll be covering throughout the next couple weeks. So the first case that will be covered is the case of Christy Nichols, and we'll find out more about that when in the next installment. Okay, so let's do this, and then we'll do this. There you go. But yeah, so those were my final thoughts. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. As always, if you liked what you watch... Oh, wrong button. Let's see here. Nope. Hold on. Jeez, I am not here today. It's a Sunday. I'm sorry, guys. As always, if you liked what you watched, feel free to click that subscribe button. You know what to do. And I will see you next time. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. GCurse. Wishing you a great day. Stay safe, and make sure you give that special somebody a hug. Peace out, everybody.